Hey, what's up? This is Michael from Heart of Gold. I have a brand new record, Beautiful Dangerous, out now on Sharp Tone Records.
Beautiful, Michael. Thanks for joining us today, my man.
Of course, how you doing? Chris, right?
Yeah, that's it, mate. Well done. Got it first guy.
Amazing. Yeah, everything going?
Yeah, good, mate. Very good. I know you say it's hot over there. It's pretty hot over here too. It's just 8 o'clock in the morning, bro, and we're starting to get into it.
Nice, nice, nice.
It's bloody early, mate. I don't get up this early for many people, trust me.
Honored. I'm honored.
As you mentioned, Heart of Gold recently released your debut album, Beautiful Dangerous. So how's the early reception been for it?
Honestly, yeah, so far so good. I was very surprised because it's still it's a very small thing, Heart of Gold. But it's all about growth and it's all about just getting it out to the right people and hopefully people enjoy it. So far it's been out. Tomorrow will be 3 weeks, and yeah, the reception on it so far has been incredible. People have been so kind, so generous, so lovely about it. They're enjoying the songs, they're enjoying the. Yeah, we've only just scratched the surface though on what we're trying to do with this record. Yeah, I'm excited to see what people think of everything.
Very cool. So tell us a bit about the album musically, man, and what you're going for with it.
Musically, the idea was always just to create something so I don't know. There's a lot of different words that we threw around in the studio. Number one being nostalgic,
Mhm.
and meaningful. So giving you something where you can listen to the words or even listen to a piece of the music, and it takes you back to somewhere in your life, whether it's you're with a certain person or you're doing a certain activity, or you're having your heart broken or you're falling in love for the first time. There's so many different emotions which I think I tried to capture because I drew from all of those personal experiences with writing. And it wasn't just, okay, this is a cool piece of music, I'm just going to sing over it. It was, okay, well, this is what I'm trying to say lyrically, and I want the music to make you feel that certain way too. You know, when you watch a
Yeah.
movie and soundtrack makes the movie so much meaningful. So it was all about the music as much as it was about the lyrical content for me. So yeah, nostalgic and meaningful and yeah, heartfelt certainly, I think.
Yeah. So, like you mentioned, like you want the music to make you actually feel like the lyrics. So, how do you create that, like with music? Sort of, is it difficult?
No, I think I listen to a lot of stuff. So the studio that I was writing and recording in, it was about a 3 hour drive away from my house. And I would do it every day, 3 hours there, 3 hours back every day. Because I was just at the beginning of the pandemic too. So I was trying to like make up for the time that I was about to lose. So I would listen to everything. I would listen to a lot of podcasts on how other records were made. I would listen to classical music, pop, rock. Yeah, there was so much stuff here. And it wasn't so much, like I said, it wasn't so much about the lyrical content. It wasn't about what this person was saying. It was about the way the chord pattern changes in the chorus to give you more of a big like exploded feeling. And that's like the big part of the song where it really captivates the person listening to it. And that's what I was trying to listen to and grasp from other artists and think, okay, how can I recreate that, but to tell my story? So yeah, yeah, I think I didn't put myself in, I didn't narrow it down to just one box of music. I would, listen to a lot of old records. I grew up listening to the Carpenters. So I listened to the Carpenters records, and just would be like, okay, here's what they're trying to say, and here's the way they're going to tell you. So yeah, it was an interesting writing process for
Yeah,
sure.
well, sounds like it, man. And the press release also says that you drew inspiration from a set of notebooks spanning the past 10 years and memories that date back to your childhood. So we'll start off the notebook side of that thing, mate. What's going on there? That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I've always loved having like a note. I have one literally right here in front of me, actually. This is the one I was drawing from literally only a couple days ago. I started writing some new music, and it's filled with like just like there's so many things where I'm
Chewy.
just like I would if something came to me, one word, I can base an entire story around this one word, or if it was a sentence or a paragraph or even a little drawing or something, I would just write it down, and I would always reference it with writing. I have I can see it right now. There's a bag filled with, there's about 15 notebooks in there, and not all of them are full. But I would just take them with me to a writing session, and I'd be like, okay, what am I trying to say? I'm pretty sure I felt this way before. I'm sure I've written it down somewhere. So I would like reference notebooks and be like, okay, I remember this one time I felt this way, and that's what I'm trying to say in the song. So I would open a notebook and be like, there it is. There's the word I'm looking for. There's the sentence I'm looking for. So yeah, it was it's just a process I've had forever, really. Just notebooks and journals, and a lot of them, honestly, they're not. A lot of it is pointless stuff. I could honestly rip half the pages out. But at some point in time, I felt compelled to write what's in there. So I'm like, okay, that's yeah, just reference it when I can.
Yeah. Do you ever sort of go back through it, like something you wrote, say, 10 years ago, look at it and go, what the fuck was I talking about there?
Dude, it's so funny. I was yeah, there was one song where I was like, okay, what am I trying to say? And what I was, you know, like I was saying, and I would look in this notebook and I'd be like, what the fuck am I talking about? Like I would be like, I was like, if it was like 2002, like emo, or even like 2005 MySpace era, like scene kid bullshit, I would be like, this is great. But nowadays, in this kind of modern age of music, I'm like, this is the cheesiest bullshit I think. Dumb, and I'm an idiot for writing it in the first place. But at the time, maybe I wish I had a date on this stuff, but I should have dated it as I was going. But yeah, at the time, it made sense.
And you also talk about songs that date back to your childhood memories in a small English village. So, but when you're telling those memories now, are you telling them from the point of view of the child or a view as a grown up?
I'm sorry, what was that last thing?
So I think you're also like some of the songs are dating back to your childhood memories from growing up in a small English town. So, like, when you're telling them now, like singing those, are you singing them from the perspective of that child or from you as a grown up?
A bit of both, actually. Yeah, there's a song on the record as the last song. It's called "Time Spent Driving," and there's like three verses, so to speak, in this song, and each one is about something from growing up. So, the first one would be like the line is turn right to head up north, take a couple hours drive. I'm sorry that I missed your birthday party on Friday. So I was like, something that I did, I would avoid social situations, and I would avoid, because I had severe social anxiety growing up. I would try, there would be times where I'd be like, I try and be part of the crowd, or I try and do that, but it would be just, it's just not who I am. So I would go on long drives by myself, or I'd go and stay with family and friends that lived hours away just to avoid going to parties, going out on the
Wow.
night. So, and then the next verse is about my friend Mike, and we called him Other Mike because I was Michael, he was Mike,
Like,
and you know, bless him, he unfortunately passed away about 2009. But before that, growing up, as we were growing up, we always used to get in so much trouble. So the story I sing about is about this one time that he like, we were playing football, and this lady came out and took our ball off us and stabbed it with a pocket knife, and we were so he like retaliated in a way that he maybe shouldn't have. And he just ran and he just jumped onto her car just as like, just he was trying to be funny and whatever, but he ended up smashing her window on her car, and we fucking ran so fast. And there were police, and it was just like this whole story, and it was so funny at the time. And the song, he smashed her window because he took our football. So we ran and we hid behind the church, and we were just like dying laughing from, you know, like they were just like stupid kids getting into all sorts of trouble. But yeah, that was he passed away in an accident a couple of years after that, which is so sad. But I mean, I just have those memories, and now I put them in a song. It's just personal experience that I can from, and I look back on it. The song is called "Time Spent Driving" because I'm thinking of all these fucking hilarious stories from growing up while I'm driving. because I spend a lot of time driving to and from the studio. Um, and yeah, so it was fun to kind of relive that in and be able to put it into.
You want to hope someone listening to this now doesn't actually recognize that story about smashing the window and tell the cops, and you get arrested now for it 20 years later.
I hope I'm gonna listen to this, and but yeah, no, it's nice, you know. I can tell that story now, like almost 15. Well, it happened longer than 15 years ago, but over 15 years later, I can tell that story with a massive smile on my face and not be nervous about, you know, our parents like grounding us.
Maybe next time you tell it, just say the word allegedly in there, just for legal reasons, mate.
Yeah. So if anyone's listening to this that was involved in that incident, that alleged incident, yeah, thank you, and I'm sorry.
You mentioned that you had severe social anxiety when you were younger, mate. So how did you get out of that and become a musician? Like that'd be a hard thing to overcome.
Well, it was music that helped me. I had a good group of friends growing up, but we were all kind of like we would just like, you know, sit at home and listen to Slipknot records and the new Linkin Park. I remember specifically when the Linkin Park record came out, and the first one we heard Crawling for the first time, and that was like what we did. That's all we did. We just sat at home, we'd listen to music, and then as you get a little, like even just a couple months or even a year older, it'd be like, oh, there's a party going on, or oh, there's this, there's that, and you just like, I'm not like there yet. I don't want to do that, you know. And all my friends were like, well, I'm gonna go this, do that, whatever. And I would always just, as much as I could, it was watching like, you know, documentaries. This was before YouTube, in fact, but I would watch documentaries. I would, you know, rent videos from the library on like a Nirvana documentary or Reading and Leeds 1992. And I would just like watch these documentaries and be like, God, I love this. I want to do this. I want to sit at home and write music. I got my first guitar and I wrote music, and wanted to start a band, and then nobody wanted to sing in a band, so I learned how to sing. And then came like, oh, do you want to play your first show? So I was like, okay, I guess I have to kind of be a bit more sociable. And next thing you know, it just like became something I adored and I loved doing, and it's all because of music that I kind of escaped that social anxiety.
Yeah.
Came the social but limits, though, you know. I definitely wasn't the get wasted every night kind of kid, but you know, everyone has their moments. So
you can do it when you're older now and remember it.
no, but it's just funny. I'm in my 30s now, and honestly, all my favorite thing in the world to do is cook dinner, have like a drink, and just put. I'm watching Pretty Little Liars on TV right now, so I'm just like, I'll watch an episode of Pretty Little Liars, and I'll be in bed by like 10 o'clock. So it's kind of sick.
I might cut that bit out, mate, so young fans don't sort of think you're a bit stale.
Yeah. Oh well. I mean, yeah. I guess that does sound a bit stale, but you know, it's fun. I wake up and I'll open up a session. I'll write some music, and then my wife will come home from work, and we'll just watch Pretty Little Liars and call it a night.
It's a beautiful thing. So going back to the album, mate, like the album title is made up of two words with conflicting meanings, but they strangely complement each other really well.
Yeah, that was the point. Honestly, the whole point was to kind of put like a visual spin on life, and how fragile it is and how beautiful it is, but then also how dangerous it is. And I don't mean danger as in like, you know, oh shit, I don't want to get hit by a car in oncoming traffic or anything, but as in like, you know, falling in love for the first time. It's beautiful and it's dangerous. Having your heart broken is beautiful and it's dangerous because it makes you, it turns you into who you are as a person as you grow. And finishing school, I did terrible in school, but I use it as experience, and you know, it just made me really appreciate life and everything that it has. And I think there's always a beauty to life and the things you do and the places you visit, people you meet. And then there's also that danger to it. So Beautiful Dangerous is that kind of, you know, duality of
Mm.
every there's a million other words that I could have used, you know, but beautiful and dangerous were kind of two opposite ends of the spectrum, but they meet
Yeah,
perfectly in the middle.
yeah,
It's
no,
black and white.
you
It
done
was
well with that,
great.
man. It captured me straight away. The title, it's really well done.
Thank you, man. Yeah, that's what I wanted to I'm stoked.
Sure. And you also released the album to coincide with your birthday, mate. Was it a birthday present to yourself or a coincidence?
I'll be very honest. For the longest time, I forgot that it was my birthday coming up because as you get older, you kind of forget. You're just like, oh, it's another day. I'm getting older and whatever. But it wasn't. We were looking for the right time to release this record, and I was like, well, we were talking about August, and I was like, well, my birthday's in August, and it just happened to be on a Friday. Are we trying to release it on a Friday? And I'm like, yeah. Okay, I was like, okay, well, my birthday is on the 12th, but I don't want that to be like a thing. And then it became a thing. So it was fun. I celebrated the release of the record. We went out for my wife and her family. We went out for a really nice meal, and we went and did an escape room. I've never done one of
Oh
those
wow,
before.
they good?
Yeah, it was fun. It was like one you had to solve these like two sisters who died in this house. It was cool, man. I'd never done anything like that before. And we went out for food and drinks and celebrated the record. And I was on my phone the whole time because I was so nervous about how people were receiving the songs.
Wow.
But I could have been enjoying my birthday more. But it's my first record, you know, it's my first solo full length record. And I'm just so proud of it and so excited and nervous for people's reaction. So I forgot it was my birthday the whole time. It was interesting.
Now, there was just some down there that asked this question on, mate, because I think it's important for you to have your solo record without too much reference to the past. But then I thought you might have people out there who know you for who you are and might get into it because of that. So basically, you're better off known for your role in Being as an Ocean, which is a lot heavier. So when and why did you decide to do an album of your own songs that were a bit more sort of rock orientated?
I've always loved this aspect of music. This is what got me into music in the first place was my mother like loved pop music growing up. So the house was always filled with pop music, and I'd always been drawn to pop music. But like I said, me and my friends would listen to the heaviest stuff like when we were kids, like Slipknot and Linkin Park and everything. And then I still always had that love for just like really good pop music. And then my career, I guess you could call it, always went down the avenue of rock and heavy rock. And I was in a couple different bands in the UK and in Manchester, and we would I always wanted to be in a band, whether it was really heavy or not. I always wanted to have a band with singing because I'm a fan of singing. And yeah, and then it became like I joined Being as an Ocean about almost 10 years ago now, and I had this like burning desire to still do something with my love for pop music. So I would write music at home, I would write music on the road while we were touring with Being as an Ocean. And then it got to about 5 6 years ago, and I was just like, I gotta do it, I have to do something now. So I recorded an EP and just finally had the opportunity to do something with those, you know, that burning desire to do something like that. And the guys in Being as an Ocean were fully supportive of it, and they loved it, and it was great. And but it never got in the way of Being as an Ocean because I was still a huge fan of heavy music, and I would write heavy music, and I never let it interfere. I would take some influence from like pop vocals in particular, like even on some Being as an Ocean records. Not many people will pick it up, but some of the vocal hooks that I was doing were influenced by like Ariana Grande
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, just like she's the, you know, absolute queen of writing vocal hooks. And I'm like, why can't that be, you know, a lot of heavy bands are doing the big singing chorus sing along stuff. And I just like, yeah, I was so in love with those vocal hooks and that type of style of writing. I was like, imagine this over a heavy chorus, and we
Awesome.
did. So having the opportunity to fully write and commit to a pop only or pop rock only record with as many different influences as I could was like, I just had to do it. You know, I've always loved it, so I just couldn't not do it.
Good on you. Good on you for following your dreams, bro. That's a great story.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been so fun. I love it.
You plan on taking this project out on the road and doing some shows?
Yeah, I would honestly love to. Trust me. It's something we've talked about. We're a very small team, Heart of Gold. I have my me, and we kind of like try and do everything we can ourselves, which is great. But there's a lot of love that has been pouring in recently for Heart of Gold from all over the world. Where luckily, I can see on different websites where people are streaming the music from, and I would just love to go there and bring Heart of Gold there. So it's something we are working on, but obviously a tour isn't just as easy as like showing up somewhere and playing. It's like there's a lot that goes into it. So we are actively working on it. But yeah, the dream is to take this. I would love to tour this album. It's been out for 3 weeks, and like I said, we've only just scratched the surface on what we are trying to achieve with this record. So to be able to take it worldwide is the goal, and we are working.
All right, man. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today, brother. And good luck with the album, Beautiful Dangerous. It's out now, and it's a beautiful collection of songs, man. You should be proud of it. You've done well.
Thank you so much. That means the world, man. I'm just so grateful that you're on the other side of the world right now, and you've heard the record, and that's all I can ask for. So thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you, brother. And hopefully we'll see you over here shortly soon.
Hope so, man. That's the dream.
All right, you take care, brother.
Chris, take it easy, man.
Yeah.